the same kind of FTEs on their side, yes, I will touch on that. Superintendent Walters, if you are going to, run the efficiencies and less FTEs, will you be making the adjustments to that budget request?
What we continue to do is find how to utilize current staff to continue to implement the programs that we have. So for instance, when you apply for federal programs, our goal of our agency is not to staff up, it is to get those programs directly to districts. We have a record $60 million literacy grant. We just got awarded another $9 million grant, and again, the previous administration would staff up to help oversee those roles. What we foresee is being able to try to utilize as much staff as currently there, and so that's what we're going to continue to do. We're happy to continue through the budget process to provide. We've been meeting with members on the budget committee to continue to walk through and answer any questions. We're happy to go through those because I do think it's important as we continue the conversation for you all to have the full picture of what federal funds are coming in, how are those being utilized. Those play a major role in this as well. And again, with us receiving the second largest literacy grant in the country, that's a big one for us, and we're trying to manage where staff can go when that grant comes into play. So we're happy to continue those conversations, and those all play a role in that budget request as well.
Hear that, and then Representative Ramzan, you stated that the agency recommendations basically stated to you agency roles, direction that should already be in place. That's the first thing I heard. I thought you were going with that. You want to follow up on that or be very specific?
Thank you. I would, Mr. Chair, I would be curious if the state agency will be implementing the recommendations by LOFT as a part of their routine job description.
Well, we're currently reviewing the recommendations from LOFT.
Additional questions, discussion? Representative Lancet, and then we have Echols coming out next. Representative Lancet, you're passed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Mr. Chairman, as you have been made aware, and the one thing I do want to reiterate for those that are here and listening, the scope, the way LOFT historically has operated is that there is a work plan that is drafted. The work plan is submitted to the Legislative Oversight Committee, and then collectively, the work plan is voted on and or approved or altered by the entire committee. This particular LOFT report was not pursued in that manner. So just for edification purposes, the work plan for this report was very specifically drawn up by individuals that were in leadership capacity on the House side, but it did not involve the Legislative Oversight Committee and was not submitted to us for approval in advance. Having said that, what I would like to do today, and I have submitted a letter to your office accordingly a week ago, is ask for an expansion of the LOFT report and an expansion of items in the work plan for LOFT to address. And there are 3 areas that I would like to add to the work plan for consideration. I understand that we do not have a forum today because the Senate is not here, and that we can take no official action, but I would like this request to be put forth in the record.
Piece of shit.
We will have it noted. I did receive your email. There was a response back since what was brought up. A response back. I did state that I believe that would be something for the 60th legislature to take up. I will not be returning. I will not be the chair. Neither is the Senate co-chair returning. So there will be 2 chairs appointed by both the Speaker-elect and the Pro Tem-elect. The structure of this committee will change significantly. There's 4 members of the Senate not returning, a couple of members of the House. Leader Echols is one that will not be returning as well.
Trying to escape
Uh,
accountability.
There's Brian, and there's three, I haven't went through the full list, but whenever I was putting together the potential of trying to encourage the Senate, I did go through the Senate list in detail. There's 4 members not returning in the Senate, and I didn't look at the House as closely, but, so with that makeup of the committee changing, I think it should be best brought up with the new leadership, both elect pro tem, elect speaker, new appointees to this committee, and then, we will make note and record that you have requested 3 items
LOFT
to
is
be
a joke.
added for, potential work plan for SDE.
Bigots and
for
bullies.
The 60th legislature and the LOFT committee to look at. Thank you for that recommendation. Leader Echols, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. 2 very quick questions. One for law. When I'm looking at these, I feel like we're burying the lead a little bit. The argument against prepayment is not statutory, that's constitutional. So as far as whether or not prepayment could occur, constitutionally, that can't happen,
I believe, thank you for the question, I believe both entities did cite statute, and that statute is based on a constitutional provision, that's correct.
right? Then,
Sorry, guys, for follow-up.
and my final follow-up, I'm gonna take us all the way back, because I had notes, and I thought somebody was gonna ask it, so, Superintendent, it's about something that you had said earlier, so I'm not trying to give you time to think about it, but there was a couple talk about a quadplex that somebody tried to use, federal funds on. I just like my final question of the legislature being about maybe wasting taxpayer dollars. I don't know how much of that is public or what you can tell us, but that is a little shocking to me. Could you expand on that just a little? I mean, we're at a LOFT committee. I carried the bill on the floor that created LOFT. The purpose of LOFT was to look at taxpayer dollars. I carried it actually the year before.
You didn't want
It
to
was
talk
called
about
Accountability,
maps.
which is a much cooler name. But nobody knows what LOFT means. But could you tell us a little bit about what happened there? That's kind of a shocking statement.
I will say a little bit more, and then I would like to say, we're happy to give you, I have a list here, I picked from it, happy to give you the full list. And just to be clear, and this is part of the process that we put in place, when we get a claim like that, the claim isn't, hey, I've got a fourplex out back, I'm gonna use money for it. The claim comes in that there's gonna be renovation, right? And renovation, it's not documented very well. So then as our team dug in through the process, that's when we were able to uncover that the superintendent actually owned that fourplex. So I do want to be clear, they don't just submit these to you and say, hey, I'm building something out back, or renovating out back. They submit it, and then through our system of checks and balances, that again, I feel very strongly about ensuring that these claims don't go through. As you know, we have a district we're having to pull back $500,000 of federal funds for because of claims that they submitted. So right here, what we found is we found an instance where upon the process that we put in place, we were able to find that superintendent actually owned that, we were able to reject it.
Someone's
And
filming this
before
whole
we
meeting.
I'd be happy to provide you the list of some of the more egregious ones that we found to help inform them.
Representative Palmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For clarification, you did your job. So what are title funds supposed to be used for? I'm glad you vetted it because a lot of things get denied, but what is appropriate expenditure, like reading specialists, materials? By and large, most school districts, I would apply appropriately. So I really love to refrain from hanging a target on the backs of superintendents, not on the backs of schools in this moment when we're about to be done. What do most school districts use those funds for?
Yeah, there's several title programs, and each one targets, different specific aspects, because since we're talking about Title I, that's where the more broad ones. Most districts will use those for personnel, for reading specialists, like you mentioned, for, helping reading specialists, that sort of thing. Occasionally to buy supplemental curriculum materials or subscription to online supplementary materials to help the students who are falling behind or students who are most disadvantaged.
those do very directly relate to the use of significant amounts of taxpayer dollars within the department. So just a clarification for those items so that everyone is clear that it's not on policy or, programs or whatever. It specifically has to do with use of taxpayer money. Those three items. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional questions? I've got one that, it does deal with the grants that you mentioned, the big one for food sufficiency coming up. With the grant programs that you receive or the award on the federal, on most of those aren't, administration or could FTEs be paid for out of the federal grants themselves if you're awarded those for clarification?
Sure, and that's part of what, when you're looking at the overall budget, some of these conversations that we've had, depending on where federal dollars come in, again, when we get awarded the literacy grant, that changes our ask to the legislature. I've always made the commitment to you that, first we'll see grants that are available before we come to the state legislature and say we'd like more funds here or there. If we can find something, especially a 5-year plus grant, that helps us not come before the legislature with that specific budget ask. So I just add those things in as this is a broader part of kind of what's going on in the agency. And so as we continue through the budget hearings in the future, we want to make sure that we're laying out kind of the full vision of both why we're making a request, but also what we are doing in kind of the other buckets in the agency through federal funding, so that it paints a broader picture of why we're asking what we're asking for.
Thank you. Representative Osborne, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On a completely different note, this is probably the last public, if not overall official, meeting that you will be conducting and that Representative Echols and Representative Bride will be a part of. I just wanted to publicly thank you all for your service. Thank you very much for being involved.
I'd also like to add Representative Buckman, I wrote you earlier.
And Representative Bowman. Sorry.
Named in charges. Named in charges.
Representative Osborne, still in my thunder. I would like to publicly acknowledge as well, last year you served as your vice chair in this capacity in Market Groves Review. Couldn't do that without you, and House really, the state of Oklahoma is going to miss you and the work that you've done.
This is really gross.
The long-term legacy impact that you had on this appropriations process and the level of transparency that the state now has because of your leadership and Leader Echols. But thank y'all both. Thank all of y'all outgoing members. You'll be sorely missed, and the state of Oklahoma. But it will miss you as well. Thank you.
No, we won't.
Thank all of you for your kind words and comments. It has been an honor to serve. I want to make sure that I do thank LOFT and SPs and the Walters for coming in. I do want to add, I know that the comment was made that, a waste of time here today. I do think good information came out of the presentation today. I think the public is more informed, better educated. I want to be educated myself. Transparency is always good. So yes, we did take up some time today. Preparation was put into it. I want to commend LOFT and the director. I've had some communications with her. I know that they did quality work on this. They pulled everybody together, pulled off the other projects to make this happen. I'll let you comment here in just a moment, but Senate Bill 1 created LOFT, great work that's been done here leading into this for the future of the state, the other legislatures coming in, and agencies, programs, a great asset for the state to have. Great work. I appreciate everyone here with SPE, the agency, for coming in, the time that you given up this morning, and the weeks before this. I know I made the request August 16th for this to happen. Other members of the room, Representative McBride.
Don't talk about everything. Don't talk about Mary Vaughn.
Actions to be taken. I heard that.
Don't talk
as
about
well.
Max.
I had constituents calling, and so therefore.
Don't talk about federal funding that they want to dismantle.
I had lengthy discussions with Speaker McCall. I was in communications with the Senate before I did that, just so the public knows. Offered the Senate to come in, President Street said that he would not, sign on or authorize, he would call back on the very same day he had his press release stating that he would not participate with the Senate, that he would basically authorize. So it was not, the same uniform that, we usually have with the LOFT committee, taking up a work plan, approving it. It was approved by both the speaker and the pro tem, which is who has the ultimate control over this committee based on committee member appointments and the retainment of the director. So that being said, I just want to lay that groundwork out there, but I do appreciate everybody's time, effort, your desire for transparency and protecting taxpayer and federal, state monies is very important to me as well, it always has been, and I want to thank you for the work you've done both law and the agency. Any other closing comments, Director, Superintendent? We'll start with the Director. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your service. We appreciated serving in this capacity, support the legislature's work in holding agencies accountable and making sure that not just the information, but the fiscal transparency is there. We learned a lot from this, as we always do when we look at an agency. There were 5 areas of funding that we dove into. We are happy to make ourselves available to any members of this committee or the legislature at large to go over any of this in more detail. But I would like to commend the office who, as Chairman Wallace said, we did have to set aside all of our other work to prioritize this project, but it deserved prioritization based off of what was in the public domain at the time. And so, thank you for...
Jon Echols needs to explain why my son doesn't have restroom access. Why I was arrested.
Chairman, I appreciate your time. Thank you for today. I will say we are dedicated to holding school districts accountable. We are dedicated to making Oklahoma the best state in the country for education. Our team will continue to work tirelessly for the parents, the state of Oklahoma, and the students for the state of Oklahoma. And we will continue to make sure every hardworking taxpayer in the state of Oklahoma, their funds are being directed in the ways that they were intended to be. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate everyone being here today and in attendance. Those who are tuning in online as well. Once again, thank you very much. It's been an honor to serve. No other business before us. Meeting is adjourned.
I want you to tell me why my son doesn't have temporary accommodations at the Oklahoma State Department of Education and why you sat silent while I was arrested.
I wasn't there, but Audra, I want you to tell me why I offered you, you're excited that you're getting a change in the board meeting, in the building codes. I offered you that the first year that you ran and you said no. This could have been fixed 6 years ago. We were standing outside
shut
my
up,
office.
John.
Audra, you said no.
He arrested me, and they're telling me no.
Audra, I know
over
why
there.
you don't
That's
want to
your
talk about.
job.
I know why you don't want to
wanna
talk about what
about
happened. I asked you a fair question, Audra.
Tell me, ask me the question again.
I told you when we were in a budget crisis that I would pass your bill off the floor, which, by the way, I've passed your bill off the floor every time it was in my office.
Why are armed Oklahoma Highway
Audra, give me
patrolmen
a
still
second.
directing me to the floor?
Audra,
While I
give
held
me-
the governor's appointment,
Audra,
John.
I give you a second.
You're named in charges.
Audra, give me a see. I know you don't want to talk about it.
Hey, can you tell me why you didn't run Max's law? Can you tell me why you voted no against that bill?
She doesn't want to hear it. She walked away when she got asked questions about what really happened. She's too busy lying.
You're a narcissist.
You're lying,
gross.
Audra. You're lying.
You are so. Why did you quit the bill?
I don't talk mean about you.
Why are you
Audra.
letting armed Oklahoma Highway? Why doesn't Max
greatly
have
feel for
Oklahoma?
you.
Why doesn't Max have access over there?
Because you chose
It has
not
nothing to
change
do
the
with
building
me.
standards,
No, an
Audra.
88 grievance is
I
different than a
offered
bill, John.
I offered to.
You're a
I offered
bigot and
it
a
for
bully
you.
trying to defund our federal
Audra,
dollars.
you're the bully.
No,
you bully
you are.
everyone,
You
and you
are.
don't tell the truth.
Hey,
but I feel for
why
you.
did
If
you
want
not?
help,
Why
you can
doesn't
still
Max have
it.
restroom access?
It's because you don't want help.
Why are you sitting silent? Those are federal rights violations. And you said, so I had a governor's appointment. You never talked to me. I was a volunteer for this state. Y'all are so gross. And you don't want to talk about it?
Sorry.
Yeah. It's awful. Horrible reporting. You're named in charges.
I'm sorry.
You're named in charges, Jeff.
Yes.
So are you. You're named in charges.
Well, I'm not worried about it because I passed it every time I said it.
There's government
I
accountability,
passed it every
John.
time I could, Audrey. You've
No, you
decided
didn't-
not to
you-
do this.
No.
Every
You
time it came through.
You ignored federal
Audra-
rights violations.
Audra,
You
you've
ignored
made
an
this about
ADA
you, and
grievance.
it's
It
sad.
is about me. I'm being directed to the floor
Made
by
it-
an armed
it-
Oklahoma
no, it's
Highway
not. It's about
patrolman.
Oklahomans. It's about Oklahomans.
It is
It's about
personal.
Oklahomans.
You are such a dick. Can you please tell me why you're sitting silent as Max is bullied? Federal rights violations? Can you tell me why you sit silent?
I'm not sitting silent, Audra. I'm at a LOFT committee investigation.
You have sat silent for 6 years as state employees
Ma'am,
discriminated
I'm gonna
against
walk away.
me.
I'm so sorry that then go visit with an attorney. I'm not. The people are watching everything.
You're willfully neglecting your duty and abusing your power. You could talk to him. Can you tell me why Max doesn't have restroom access at the Oklahoma State Department of Education? And why your constituents have filed complaints and you ignore that? Why state employees are still directing me to the floor in the bathroom? Mark?
We're having a conversation here. Thank you.
Willful neglect of duty, abuse of power, retaliation, collusion.
Okay.
You have willfully neglected your duty. As your own constituents are named as your own constituents, Mark. You're gross. Oklahomans will not miss you.
Oh, I know.
Can you tell me why you had me arrested and why you're denying my son his federal rights at the Oklahoma State Department of Education? Can you?
Good to see you. I appreciate it.
Can you tell all these people?
Appreciate you.
Can you tell these people why you had me arrested? Willful neglect of duty, abuse of power, retaliation, collusion in government.
God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. God bless you.
Don't touch me. Do not touch me.
So much. It's an honor.
That's what a whole bunch of bigots and bullies look like. You're named in charges because you're a bully and a
I voted
bigot.
for it every time.
No,
There's a reason
you
you yell and
ignored
don't talk.
state employees
There's
discriminating
a
against
reason
my
you yell and
son.
don't talk, Audra. I
I
really feel
hate
bad
you.
for what's going on. You're allowed
I
to
have
hate me.
never ever despised
Audra, I
anybody
don't
more in
hate
my
you.
life.
I promise
You
I
are
don't
gross,
hate
and
you.
you are too. How many times did
I
you say
don't
my
hate
name the
you.
other day? Yeah, protect him. He's a bigot and bully.
Audra, I don't hate you.
I hate you.
I don't hate you.
My kids hate you.
There's a. I
You
wish
are
wouldn't
gross.
teach- I wish you wouldn't teach your kids to hate Audra.
Well, I do.
I wish you would.
People that want to direct my son
sorry.
to the floor in the back, and you ignored it.
Audra, I
You
voted for you
ignored
every
it.
time
That's
you
your
yelled.
job.
I don't hate you, Audra.
I hate you.
Go back for you.
I hate Jon Echols. He's a dick, and we're Oklahomans glad to get rid of him. Your kids should be so ashamed of you, Jon. You should be ashamed. You're a bigot and a bully. I am so, bye-bye, Jon. Bye-bye. You've wrecked your career in politics. I'm out. Oh, hush.
You better stop. You're
You
gonna
leave
get
me
arrested
alone. I'm
again.
out. You better shut up with this shit. Back off.
You're gonna get arrested again.
Back away from
Stop.
me. You leave me alone. How many times you walked by me the other day and
Goodbye,
said my name?
Audra. Get on the
Adam
elevator.
Kane, Adam Kane, Adam Kane.
I'm warning you.
You're a fuck. You're a fuck.
That's fine. Say all the stuff.
And I hope you lose your job.
Thank you.
Why did you say my name 4 times the other day? You walked by me 4 times and Audra Beasley, Audra. Provoking. You're gross. You are gross. Bigot, bully. I hope you lose your job, Adam.